My wife is in here too. We got the baby sleeping. If
Awesome.
we might get some baby noises, but
that's awesome. Guys, thanks for stopping in. Mountain Man Treasure. We've got Sam, the Dapper Tiger, in. Last week we had more facial hair than you can handle. Tonight it's mountain versus style. You got the fanciest facial hair on YouTube. I appreciate you guys coming in. Everybody, thank you for all the comments tonight. We hit 1,000 subscribers today, which is awesome. We actually, Dominic over at Primetime Treasure, he gave us the push. He put it in his Facebook group this morning. And in like 2 hours, I picked up like 100 subs that I needed to pass. I've still started. They've been trickling through. We're like to 1,026 or something last I checked. So it's so cool. I'm so excited. We've got like 1,000 hours still that I got to pick up. So if you're bored and you want to turn on that playlist, we still I got a lot of hours I got to make up. But so we'll announce it here at the front end and then circle around down at the back. But the beard is staying, but I did put out there that if we got 1,000 by July 4th, it happened way faster than I thought it would. Roxanne is going to be back running the comments here in a little bit, but she is, I think we're working on, I'll let you know, but I think we're going to do a special Tuesday night live and she's going to shave my head. I mean, this is getting like ridiculous. Like, look at this. I didn't want to get a haircut because I'm like, if it's going to go off anyway, but I mean, it's getting bad. So she's we're going to shave this thing and have a party tomorrow night. So watch Instagram or watch the channel for an announcement. I think that's coming tomorrow night. If you're bored and you want to watch a grown man get his head shaved for the first time.
I'm down. You heard it first.
I mean, it's the internet, right? Like that is not the weirdest thing happening tomorrow on the internet. So, but thanks for coming in tonight. I sure appreciate it. Fill in a few minutes, waiting for people to filter in. We've got, looks like about 15 in here already, but Sam gracious enough last week to agree to come in. And man, I so appreciate you coming in anyway, but he checks in with me the other night. He's like, "Hey, sorry, I haven't gotten with you. We had the baby." I'm like, come on, man. Like, so tell everybody what's going on. Because you've got a new human person there now.
That's right. So my beautiful wife gave birth Friday, 12:26 p.m. Central Time to a healthy 7 pound 8 ounce boy. We had the birth at home. She is a freaking rock star. We did it natural, drug free at home without any medical assistance. And it was probably the most intense, crazy, primal, like life shifting thing, like one of those things, like you talk about parallel universes, like if there was something that went different, like how your life would turn out, like that was it. If I had done that in a hospital, especially now, like I've had a couple of friends say they didn't get to be a part of their kid's birth. And it's like, man, I do all this, I work from home, even the YouTubes, right? Try and do that so I can be a part of that. So I don't know if I ever told you, I used to work in pro sports, and that was one of my turnoffs from working pro sports. Dude, like right now, if I was in football, mini camps are happening right now. So, and then as the season picks up, I gotta look after 100 something guys, right? So
what did you do? Because you have a medical background, right?
Yeah, I'm an athletic trainer and a doctor of physical therapy.
So how do you get into that and then get into pro sports? I mean, that's not an easy egg to crack, right?
Dude, I mean, I just put myself out there, I've always just tried to hustle and try to be the linchpin guy. So basically, like when I went to school in Connecticut, I took every opportunity that came up. I grew up in Cape Cod. So like when I wasn't going to school, I would go and work at my parents' restaurant in the summer. And then I would try and work the Cape Cod Baseball League, volunteer time, and that opened so many doors for me. And that led to the Jets just offering me an internship to being there for 2 years with them for as an athletic trainer. So the dude that would run out to the to the players when you're watching a game. So it was just like taking opportunities and putting myself out there, and then working hard. And like I said, being a linchpin like employee or student or whatever, so you just they couldn't go without you was I guess what I would always aim for.
And so you did that for 2 years?
Yeah, and then I pursued my because I coming out of high school, like I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to do physical therapy. Like I knew I just wanted to get people better. Even like as a little kid, I used to like joke around like Dr. Sam, like from the moment I could talk, like I guess that's what my parents would tell me. So that was like the cool thing. And I left pro sports because I wanted to pursue my doctorate. And it wasn't too bad because like right after that, I ended up like at the University of Alabama as a rehab consultant. So wasn't too bad.
Okay.
So then I was in college ball, like D1 college ball for a while.
Yeah. So how do you get out of that world and go, you know what, pro sports, medicine, I got all these degrees, I got stuff hanging on my wall. I'm going to go buy used Tupperware and sell it on the internet.
Because like, I'm first generation immigrant, my grandmother, like we were poor growing up. I watched my grandmother pick cans out of the trash for money. Like I pick cans out of trash so that like I could go to like the Hostess factory and get some bread, and that's how we just had to hustle. My parents didn't go to school here. They didn't speak the language. I was the primary interpreter for my family, for as long as I could speak English. So that was just kind of like, I was used to that, kind of like scraping, like when I first moved to Alabama, like straight out of school, I was broke. I spent all my money getting down there. So I had to like slowly furnish my place. Somebody tossed out a vacuum. I'd pick it up, figure out how to fix it. Now I had a vacuum.
Yeah.
It took a little while to figure out that I could pick it and then sell it and not just keep it for myself. But yeah.
So, I mean, what was that? Was there a moment though where you're like, you know what? I'm done with this. Like we talked Bearded Thrift Machine. I put him on there. We had him on last week. I mean, he was a cop, a decade into law enforcement, and he just finally decided, you know what? I don't want to do this. I mean, was there that moment for you?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of why like I'm here, I think, I left athletic training because I knew I could do more. Like being an athletic trainer, like it was great. I could do a lot of stuff. Could save your life if I needed to. But it was, at the end of the day, in pro sports, I was an overeducated water boy. Even though behind the scenes, like I knew more than a personal trainer. Like personal trainer will also always be coach, and I'm not. So I couldn't, like the head athletic trainer was like, he gets paid like $300,000, right? A year. The assistant only gets like 60. So you're literally like sitting there waiting for some dude to like get fired. This is like my coworker, and I'm watching this dude, like my boss, who's got a 2-year-old. He missed everything. First step, first words, everything. It's like, that sucks. I don't want to be a part of that. So I knew, doctorate would give me a little bit more freedom, and I was okay with I was already kind of like going through school anyway, so I didn't really mind. I was like single. I wasn't really committed to anybody. So I was like, I would just put my head to school and just get it. And then, and gets to a point where like I got burnt out of that too, because like at some point, like I'm just giving up my time. And when I kind of take a step back, it's like, what do I really want? Like I want freedom of time. I want to do what I want. I can help people in other ways, hence YouTube. So, and I really wanted to dial it back and be with my family.
Yeah.
It's like, it kind of gets to the point, and I don't know if Bearded Thrift kind of felt this, like you ended up giving like the best version of yourself to strangers and like the worst version of yourself to your family. Like after like your whole like emotional like energy tank is just drained. It's like, man, that's kind of like lame too.
Yeah, no, and I completely understand what you're saying. I mean, I worked in two different stints for the better part of 20 years in newspapers. We were actually on a little bit of a parallel. I was in sports in newspapers, so it's this.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
almost, in a way, it's the same as far as the grind and constantly
yeah,
being
yeah,
on. Because for the last half of my career, well, even the first half, when you're a beat writer, you're on the road, and so you're on the road constantly, driving home at 2 and 3 in the morning. And then I got to the point where, you know, I'm an assistant sports editor, and I'm a sports editor. So you're not on the road as much, but then you're just in the office all the time, taking care of everything. And you missed, I mean, I missed birthday parties, and I missed, you know, I missed a lot of stuff. And at some point it got to be, I mean, it was a little bit of a combination of, you know what, the industry is going down. But it got to be, I had to do so much, partly because the industry was failing, that we had to do more with a lot less. But I also just had a bit of a pride and ownership that it's like, you know what, I could get away with not doing that, but then the product wouldn't look as good. And so I couldn't help it. And so I was doing so much that I had to leave, you know, and I took it, you know, I'm in radio now. I went back to my first job in high school was radio. So I circled way around, and now I get to be home and see things. And I mean, that's important. I mean, I totally get it.
Did you find yourself like mourning the loss of that particular identity?
Oh yeah. Because I think it's different. And I think for guys, I think that's part of our makeup is, you know, what, you know, during that period in your life, somebody says, oh, what are you? Or who are you? Oh, I'm an athletic trainer with the Jets. That's who you are. That's like what we do becomes part of who we are. And it took a little bit of time for me to realize, no, that's just what I did. Like, that's not who I am. That's just what I did. And for guys, I think we make that part of our makeup, and we make that this is who we are. And so, yeah, there was a while, like I couldn't read the newspaper for a while because I was like, oh, they did that wrong. They did that wrong. This is how I would have done it. I was correcting it. And I was like, what are you doing to my stuff? Because I felt ownership of it still. I totally get it. There was definitely a bit of a mourning period, and which is weird, but it absolutely. And so, you know, I moved into radio, and now, you know, I've moved into the reselling thing. When did you sort of go from, hey, I'm collecting cans so I can make some extra bucks, to, wait, I can sell stuff. I can actually go and find things that people don't see any value in, and I can sell it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess when I officially say like I, you know, did this as a part-time career was like January of 2020. Just we had, you know, we knew the baby was coming, and, you know, we were just trying to like clear some space and make a couple extra bucks for the baby. So, and I already had a Macari account since like 2017. So I kind of been like selling on and off since then. And then, you know, I fell into the YouTube rabbit hole. You see all like the garage flips, but nobody was really like talking about Macari. So I kind of just had to extrapolate eBay tips to Macari stuff. Because, you know, at the end of the day, like sometimes the prices of shit are the same depending on like the one-offs, but for the most part, it's pretty competitive. So then I found, you know, I found the reseller community itself after that, and I was like, wow, everybody's so cool. Then I came up with a like channel just so I could hang out for like a couple months and like just chat with people. And I was like, you know what? Everybody's like so nice. Let me I'm gonna start a channel. I'm gonna do it. And, you know, I had been like blowing smoke for like a year. You know, I had gotten all this stuff. I got this like mic, just sat around, and I finally just like took the plunge because I knew everybody was like so warm.
Is that a Shure mic? Is that what that is?
This is a blue Yeti mic.
Yeah. I don't actually even have a mic. I'm the radio guy. I don't have a mic. I'm just talking in my laptop. But I'm getting there. We got the umbrella light showed up today, and I think it's so much more even in here. When I get a new camera, or when I get a new laptop, you'll be able to actually see, because this camera is not great on this laptop. So it's baby steps, buying the stuff, right?
And that's all you gotta do, man. Just like slow and steady. And there, because like what did I hear? What the hell's he does everything from the phone.
Yeah.
So even live streaming, he was just, like, I guess he uses a laptop for that, but still, and that dude commands an audience.
I see the question on there, Mike. Yeah, I have the ice cream cone still, the 2 foot tall ice cream cone. I put it on auction just to see. I think $29.99, and it's got I think it's got 4 watchers. So if you're really interested, I might cut you a deal. But the safety cup blow mold. Mark, I saw Mark in the thrift earlier. Mark snagged he got to the garage sale I told him about 5 minutes before I did, and bought a 3 foot tall Santa Claus with the light inside of it. That thing is amazing. It's probably $100+ flip.
That's awesome, man.
So yeah, I had to buy the ice cream cone, and I thought, what, I'm putting it on auction. Let's see what happens.
Let it ride.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's such a cool story to go from medicine and athletics to now YouTube. And do you do eBay at all, or is it?
I do a little bit of eBay, but I mean, it's few and far between, because let's be real, I've been lazy. Can I be real with you guys? I've been busy. My other business, I run a mini gourmet mushroom farm out of my apartment, so that's doing decent. But that sucks up a lot of my time. So I fit in reselling when I can, and by the time I go to list it on eBay, maybe this is a subconscious thing because I'm lazy and rationalizing my laziness. It sells on Mercari before I can even put it up on eBay.
Yeah. Hey, that's not a bad system.
Yeah. I mean, but because I guess I have these irrational self-limiting fears of what if it sells at the same time? I've double listed stuff. That's yet to happen. Granted, I don't have volume like Cat.
Right.
I only have a few hundred items in my store, so.
Yeah, well, not many people have volume. Cat picks up a few hundred things on a weekend.
She's like, oh, darn it, I sold 50 things. Now I got a list of 50 things because I don't have a bajillion things in my store. I was like, I sold 2 things. I sold 5 things. I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got other stuff going on. I mean, that mustache does not do that itself. I mean, that takes work.
I will tell you, man. I actually thought that my Asian heritage was quieting my mustache facial hair growing ability. It wasn't until I hit 30 that it kind of really kicked on. It was puberty finally finally hit.
No, you got the tightest facial hair on YouTube, man.
Appreciate it, man.
It's unreal. So talk about, I mean, you mentioned it, but you went through the birth, the home birth thing. I mean, that's, you say you're lazy. It's not like you don't have an excuse, at least right now. Take me back, because I think it's awesome, to that moment. When is that moment? Folks out there that are dads totally understand what I'm talking about, and I don't know how to phrase it other than that moment, and I think you know what I mean.
With turning it on, when
that switch just it goes from off to on just like that.
I mean, it kind of got real as soon as she started showing. And then because it's holy crap, and now it's doing things it's interacting with us, such as I'll put my hand on her belly and it's reacting to me. I can't see it, but it's engaging with me, and it's wild. So it's crap, man. I'm responsible for what's come. So, and I didn't want to be I'll get after it once it's here. I definitely felt that extra pressure at first, but I kind of welcome it sometimes. It's a bad or good saying, but diamonds are made under pressure. So, and I kind of think of when you're training, right, and you're doing athletics. If you're training for a while, you kind of hit the stratosphere of fitness, where it's okay, but like your baseline might be somebody's like really hard day at the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of see that with like some of the responsibility going on is, you know, obviously I try not to take on too much. So I don't really produce content like that. I do one time a week, but we try and edit this, you know, like the smack out of it and just.
Yeah. I want to talk about that because like my videos, I mean, I put out some quantity. Even now we've scaled down. We were like once a day for like a month. Now I've just for my own sanity and making sure that stuff stayed to a quality level. I'm going Monday, Wednesday, Friday, once on the weekend, and then our lives. That's helped me out a lot. But I am basic. I'm pretty bare bones, right? Like I'm basic. Like I'm more mad at part-time pickers of holding the camera up and going, "Here's what I sold." You've got like a studio. Like your stuff is slick, man.
I appreciate it, man. I mean, I have, you know, helps out that like, you know, we have YouTube Academy, you know, at our fingertips, and you know, my wife, she likes helping out with that as far as like the editing and all that stuff. So, you know, I'm lucky in that way. Like I kind of already have a little mini team helping me out with stuff. So I've been lucky that everything kind of lined up in that way. And you know, I guess I'm guilty of the perfectionism thing, like you know, kind of how you were with your articles, right? Like I really want to put out a polished product because you know what I try and keep focus is like, man, like 300 something people like me enough to subscribe. Maybe not all of them, right? But for the most part, I like to think, you know, based on my videos, 70% of them who are watching like my stuff enough to hang out for a while and support me. So imagine if I was like standing in a room with like even just like 50 people, right? Like those are like when you first start out and they're like all watching you talk, and trying not to lose sight of that. You know, that like it's not just a number, that you know, it's their people donating their time to you.
Yeah.
And you know, and just kind of like, holy, you know, I don't know if you still feel that, like I can't believe they're watching that, you know.
Yeah.
So I like to think that if you're going to donate my time, I want to entertain you a little bit. I want you to get something out of it, you know.
We got you got Art Vandalay says we all like Sam. Right before that, Richard said I like you. So I mean, if you've got Richard, I mean you've got it made.
I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, I mean it's how long does it take you, just that editing process, like because you do go through, and it's not when we say editing, I mean you're like a step below Hollywood putting in special effects type stuff. Like I mean you're spending time on this stuff. How long does that take you for a video?
It just depends, you know. Every time we learn something, we add a little bit more time to it. I would say it probably takes, I don't know, what'd you say, babe, 20 hours? Like collective hours to produce a single video, or like an 8-minute long video, depending on the type of stuff we're doing. But what you're not seeing is like, I just watched countless hours of videography stuff, like just how to control the camera, how to get B-roll, and then like transitions, cutting, things like that. You know, when we first started out, it was like editing software that my computer could barely handle, and then we had to go to iMovie. So like that took a little bit of a learning curve, and now we've kind of upgraded to Final Cut Pro. So but the transition has been like pretty great, as far as like iMovie and Final Cut Pro are very, very similar. It's just Final Cut Pro has like more bells and whistles. But and then like we just been learning color grading, you know, so she's been like good at that. I do not know how to do that. Christina, like I'll just hand it to her and then she'll color grade it, and then I'll cut it and I'll do my thing with it. And I've been learning how to work with the audio more, because I really love music. And to me, you know, I like to meticulously kind of score it, put music to it. think about the transitions and how to basically tell a story from soups to nuts. I enjoy educating, so but like, I don't want to be like the peanuts wah 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 teacher.
Right.
I
Yeah.
want you to be engaged. I want you to walk away and actually say like, hey, I got something, valuable out of this.
Yeah, I mean that's what I think is so neat. Is just like I said. I mean, your stuff looks so slick. It's amazing. If you haven't subscribed, I saw we had a new subscriber in there in the chat tonight. So if you haven't subscribed to Sam, folks, I think Nana and folks have been dropping the link. It's going to be this. This takes a while to upload for those that are watching back. This will be on like in the morning for whatever StreamYard seems to take a while to process. But once this up, the link to Sam's Instagram and to his YouTube is in the description underneath. So go check that out if you're not on there. Have you thought about kind of hosting, doing some live stuff on your own? Is that something you're interested in?
Yeah, we did a live stream a couple weeks back. It went great. For anybody who has not, it does wonders for your watch hours. Mm-hmm. I see the appeal. Because that was pretty much like I got triple my collective views in one day. And I was like, holy smokes. I mean, I think about doing it, but I think about it in terms of like the Joe Rogan experience. I really like the Joe Rogan experience. Anybody who watches YouTube probably follows him.
Yeah.
So
like him or not, the dude is an incredible interviewer. Like he's really, really good.
Yes. And so like I think of it more of the strategy part where he takes clips from content he's already produced and it gives you highlight reels of the best parts. So you don't have to sit through an hour and change or 20 minutes for one knowledge bomb or a nugget of something, right? So I was thinking more of that, maybe, coming on, because I don't feel good about coming on willy-nilly sometimes. I mean, I guess I could just hanging out. But I've been doing a lot of premieres, so that's kind of how I've been connecting with folks.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoy doing the premieres, and having folks come in and chat, and then people can come in after and watch that live chat and kind of get a little bit more in depth. Like this morning, I was able to drop my premiere, and I was talking about the tiki mugs, and I'm like, oh yeah, this other one I talked about, it sold too last night for $50.
Yeah.
So then you could add, because stuff always happens after you put it together. There's always something else you wish you would have put in there.
Right.
It happens after if you do it ahead or anything like that. And for you, I mean, for me, it'd be relatively easy because mine is so rudimentary to get in and be like, hey guys, it's me cutting a clip in. And then I talk to you. I mean, yours is produced. So it's a little bit tougher.
Well, because like I think about, all right, so we all step back and we kind of like the time that we're putting in, we want to monetize and we want to get there, relatively easily, right? Without having to do things that would hurt our channel or like that YouTube might not like. Because we have to remember YouTube owns YouTube. Mm-hmm. So we kind of have to play by their games. So, and understanding the people who come in, what do they like to see? What's already on television? What are people figuring out to hold your attention? And then as far as like, the views, like I think that is probably everyone's biggest challenge, right? Like you were talking about it. But what if like you start creating videos and you had videos where they were replayable? Like you're saying, people are coming back and rewatching stuff. And I think that's excellent, right? And if you can do simple stuff like set up playlists, or let's say like, you go to the thrift store, garage sales. Now you have a garage sale playlist. Now YouTube picks that up and they play it. Easy peasy. You just basically created your own buy box. Like you decrease the friction for your watcher to consume your content at like, a serial pace. Like just keep watching it. So it's little things like that we can do, and I'm starting to step back and think about, because I don't really produce at such a high frequency. So like, I'm just careful, with everyone that I put out there. Cause there are channels, man, like, there are channels that put out 365 days a year, and there are channels that just put out 12 a year. And they're right in the same stratosphere. So I think I rather kind of take more of a sniper approach rather than a shotgun approach. You know, bringing value, but having a little fun and sharing some positivity along the way.
Yeah. Frank is mentioning, and I saw it. I think it happened today. Erin, best offer queen.
Yes.
She passed 1,000 today too. We both
Dude.
passed 1,000 this morning. So
Yes.
that is awesome. If you haven't subscribed to Best Offer Queen, do that, because that's a fantastic channel as well.
Holy smokes!
Yeah.
Did you see how it went down?
No, I just all of a sudden saw it on Instagram that she mentioned it. I missed the whole thing because I got busy watching mine.
I believe she said she's doing a celebration show tonight with What the Hales. So What the Hales?
Aaron, drop it in here. Like let us know what's going on for sure. I mean, I think it's interesting the way like you can find your own niche. Like I think it's fantastic what you do. I'd love to be able to do it. I don't have the skill and I don't have the time, right? But I'm like, you know what? But I have knowledge that I think I can pass along. So I'm going to do it in a simple and clean way, the best way I know how, and it's still working, right? Like, I mean, I've had a lot of help from a lot of people, but I started this in mid-December, seriously thinking, I hope I can get 500 by the end of the year. That was, I mean, in one of my very early videos, that's what I said was, I want to try and get 500 by the end of the year.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, how much do you think like your time in media and in radio has helped you translate some of that, you know?
I think it helped, certainly with the comfort level. Joey, I'm going to interrupt my answer. Thanks for coming in, man. I'm not brave enough to shave the beard like Joey did. My wife would kill me. But I'm gonna do the hair. I think tomorrow night. We might be doing it tomorrow night. I think it certainly helped me be comfortable, right? Like I have a broadcast journalism degree. The initial plan was to do TV. So I went through all the classes of this is how you're on camera. This is how you run a camera. This is how you run a board and cut stuff, you know? And so I have that. I mean, I grant you that was a long time ago that I was in college. But I had that sort of back in the recesses. And the radio, I mean, I'm comfortable talking. I talk to thousands and thousands of people every morning. Right. I have after we do our news show, then I do an interview show for 30 minutes a day, every day. That was why at some point I was like, you know what? I do this for my day job. I should start doing the lives, right? Like I should bring people on, interview them. I like telling, even when I was in sports, the appealing thing of sports, I always felt is telling people that don't already care why they should care. Right. Is finding that athlete and saying, you don't know about this lady. Here's her story. And this is why she's amazing and why you should stand up and clap when you see her. I loved that part. And that's why I loved things like track and gymnastics and stuff like that, because the stuff that's not a team sport, there's so many stories out there to tell. And I've always just loved telling stories. So I think that's just let me kind of, my equipment, my skills were pretty rudimentary when we started out. And I don't know that they're great now, but they're certainly getting better. I can certainly see how much better it's gotten. But in terms of comfort level, I never had a problem doing it. It's just making it look right.
Right. Well, see, I think that like the other way around, I've had to compensate for my lack of confidence and my lack of comfort in front of a camera through editing. It just started like, to be honest with you guys, it started off as just like one huge crutch. And it happened to kind of work out because, we're learning things along the way to kind of just like up our game. But I also admire the fact that, hey, like, we all can step back and watch Troy a little bit and observe not so much like the What Soul videos and the Hall videos, but like maybe how his camera presence is, how he's talking to the video, even just like the inflection and tone that you use when you're speaking. Is it really a gift, or is it just you're learning it because you've been in media, you've seen folks, you went to school for it, So, and that's not to discount what you do well. It's to show that like, hey, we can all step back and learn from you and up our game for those who are maybe not as confident talking into the mic in front of the camera. because I think of it like, man, even if like you don't edit well, right? Think about it like Star Wars. Like I want to be like 4, 5, and 6, right? Those are legendary, but like the special effects are trash. Let's talk about it. Like in today's standards, trash. But those are timeless because they can tell a story, capture you, and really make you fall in love with the characters and move you in so many different ways without being over the top, cheesy. But when it comes to 1, 2, and 3, they're fans, but it doesn't move you like that. At least in my mind,
you get to 3. 3 got a little bit, they started to get into the grit and the emotion.
Yeah. So it's and then you get the new trilogy that's out too, which has a whole lot more explosives and things like that. But I still think 4, 5, and 6 will always be it.
Yeah, because it walked that line, like you were saying. It didn't use the effects as a crutch and watch us because we're sparkly. Like, like, hey, look at what we can do that nobody else can do. But here's a story, and here's a great character, and it's sprinkled, it's seasoning, right? Like, like in when I was writing in sports, we always talked about if you emptied your notebook, you wrote too much. If you put every note in that you ever took in your story, if you put every quote you got in your story, you either didn't get enough or you wrote too much. You tried too hard. It should all be seasoning, right? You should have a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt. It's the same thing when we're talking effects and editing and
right.
So what is the grind for you like though when you're putting that much time into a video? Like, do you feel pressure going, I've only got one this week, I've got to get this thing right?
I've had to get comfortable like lately, especially with the baby being born. Like, hey, maybe it's okay that I don't drop a video. Will it hurt me a little bit? Nah, maybe. But I think I did a commercial, like a Verizon commercial, when I was in college, and I got like some pretty good money for 2 years because of residual income. And like I think ever since then, man, like I've always had residual income in my mind. Forget about like passive income, because like I definitely put in and fronted the work, right? And so I think about that. What can I leave that's there? Like the how to tie a tie video. Dude, I want to be how to tie a tie. Right. How to tie a tie is kicking butt right now. So I think about that, where I can do something. It might seem very trivial to you, but I solve somebody's problem.
Yeah.
And I kind of come back to that. That's why I got into medicine in the first place. That's just who I am. I like helping folks. I like trying to solve problems that that maybe isn't as obvious to some folks. My mind works kind of funny in those ways.
Well, I you might have yours. You did that the label printing for Mercari, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's going to be a video that for 10 years, as long as Mercari's around, people are going to be like, I can't figure this out. Go to YouTube, because that's where we go now, right? And there's your video.
Yeah. Well, and things like being able to, like, this is all free, right? It's kind of reseller. It's like reseller information. It's out there. You just have to put in the work to consume it. So, learning how to optimize your thumbnail, your title, your description, because like right now, like the top video that's suggesting mine is the top search video. And so it's like right after that, boom, I'm next. So trying to figure out how to do that, right? Like we inherently know how to do it as resellers, promoting our listings to get on the top of eBay's feed, right? Because you hide dead bodies in the second page of the search,
Right.
So we already know that, right? How do we compete? And compete without like doing stupid stuff to each other, but like truly compete, like putting out good content, learning how the game works, and playing it. So
for folks that are interested, I mean, we've got, well, 2 people just left, but we had 45. For the people that are in here, I mean, I'm sure there's people in here that have a very, very new YouTube channel, or they're in that step of, I might be interested in doing a YouTube channel. I mean, what's your advice for those at that point that are just getting started or thinking about getting started?
Do it. Just do it. I mean, that literally, man, like for a year, a year. It's like, I wouldn't do it. And like, I would talk so much crap too. Like, I could do it better than this guy, or I would do it this way. And like, no, you're not, because you haven't done it.
Right.
Until I took the plunge, whatever it takes for you, you know, and I will encourage you all day. Like Richard, he started a video. I'm super pumped because of that. Larry, LL Stash, he was like going to do this live thing about him taking apart a vacuum. I was like, hold up, brother. Why don't you make that a video?
Right.
And he's like, okay, I could do that. We're like, yeah, man. And then like, dude, why not encourage each other in that way? Like, you know, it's like, it's not my idea. I don't have a vacuum to take apart right now. So why not? So, you know, and encouraging each other to grow in that way. Like, I know Kat had helped Nana Tink for a little while with like her channel and like, you know, the way she's doing thumbnails. Like, yo, I'm not just sitting here consuming like bolos and also sitting on live streams. Like, I'm doing other stuff, you know, I'm learning from folks like Dom just came into the channel,
how about that?
So, like taking a step back, like what has he done, right? Forget about whatever opinions, like, but what has he done to kind of get there, right? And the cool thing is that even though he's gotten there, he still takes the time to like, you know, support folks like yourself, like Emily. I mean, that's cool too, not to lose sight of that, you know, as you grow.
Yeah, well, and he has folks on Dominic, how are you, man? He has folks on his channel, you know, and he does interviews, and I know he does it to help those people, right? And I totally respect that, and I owe a lot to the success of this channel to Dominic. He's helped not just because of him helping us pump those numbers, but because we all, like Nana Tink said, we all learn from each other. You know,
Absolutely.
I said one time something about swirl marks in a mug. Nana was like, "Oh, I know how to get rid of those." I said, "Well, do a video."
Yeah.
I did, and it was great. And I watched it, and I'm like, "I know how to clean these out now." It's so simple, and I never even thought of it.
Yeah.
I can do this now. So now I can probably add $5 value to every mug I pick up if it has swirl marks, because I can clean it.
Yeah.
And Nana just started.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, everybody, and she knows all about like her and Kat. I mean, they know so much about glass that I don't know anything about it, but I can watch their channel and I can learn. And, and that's fantastic. Cajun Reseller, he started doing stuff. I still want your face on those videos, man. But I'm you know, you're picking up stuff, you're selling stuff. I'm liking watching those videos. And I think it's worth just admitting to yourself that your first video is going to be trash.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Right? Like, you're going to look, even if at the time you think, man, this is awesome, I'm on YouTube. Yeah. Watch it back in 6 months. I guarantee you're going to go, like, my lighting in here is still getting better, but I watched like somehow a playlist came on with some of my old videos. I'm like, it looks like I'm in the closet. Like, how did I have, Chris was like subscriber number like 12 or something. I'm like, man, why did he subscribe to my channel? Because this is awful. Yeah. Like, the information was there and I think it was good, but the presentation was just terrible. And I think you just got to accept that that's going to be the fact. Like, it's going to be bad.
And that's why I say you got to just start, man. Just embrace the fact it's going to stink. Nothing that we ever do, I don't care, even if you are like born good, is good. You know, it takes repetition to refine your skills. You know, I just recently was able to finally see my full analytics because I had like released 15 videos. You know, it doesn't sound like a lot, but that's like 2 months. All right. I just told you, like, it's 20 hours worth of work almost, like editing. That's not including like going out filming, plus the hours I plunge into researching all the stuff to do it, you know. And you know, that's like 300 collective hours over the course of like 2 months, you know, that you're plunging into this project that I'm doing for free. So and there are other things, like, you know, we were talking before going on, like, you know, I could be listing, I could be marketing for myself in other ways, but I see it as I see it as a fun way of expressing myself and helping folks, you know. Even if it's like for nothing, man, like just reaching out and meeting the community and see how many folks who understand the struggle, right? I think that's why we kind of lean into this community, like the people who are, you know, the parents figuring out their day job, doing it part-time, doing YouTube, trying to figure out all this stuff while they're learning. And then even just in YouTube, you're the audio tech, you're the video tech, you're the camera guy, you're the everything. So, to learn all that and to wear so many hats at once is like, it's tough. And it's like, if I started playing Pee Wee football yesterday and today I want to be in the NFL, impossible, right? But that's what we all want for some reason. Like, that's the expectation we put on ourselves. And I have to think like, dude, it took me a while to get my degrees. It's probably going to take me a while to, to earn the views and earn the subscribers. But whether it's practice, like practicing medicine, working, at a restaurant, scooping ice cream, whatever it is, I try and just kind of give it 100% and offer value to folks. And, everything else is just a positive side effect.
Yeah. And I think you talked about how, there's side by side, we're on two rails here, right? Like, we want to get this thing monetized. Obviously, that's a part of it, and nobody's hiding that, right? Like, we're not I hope they don't know I want to make money off of this sometime. Like, that's not happening, right? Like, everybody gets like, at some point, like, the goal is to make some money off of this thing. But I think the vast majority of resellers doing videos are doing videos at the same time because they want to help people, right? Like, there's not just a selfish, I'm going to do these because I'll make money. Like, because I don't think that works. Like, I don't think there's any way. Though I do want to point out, Las Vegas Thrifts just went over and subscribed to Dominic. He helped get me like 150 subs today, but I got you one, Dom. We got Las Vegas Thrifts heading over. So I'm starting to pay that back. It's going to take me a little bit, but I'm working on it.
That's it, man.
Yakov is here. Thanks for stopping in, man. We got a lot of folks in. But there are those two rails that are running side by side. And I think the very important thing is everybody doing this wants to help, right? Yeah. Like, I was talking with Sam ahead of time. I don't see Nikki and Gary in here tonight. But I've been talking with Nikki for a little bit. She's been sending questions in on my comments, answered a couple of them about, how do auctions work, how to, setting up, how do you decide where you want to start an auction at, just stuff like that. And then we've emailed back and forth a little bit, and she's got some inherited old fishing lures. Oh, look, there she is right there. And they just had a fantastic auction the other day. And she's been so kind and writing me emails, thanking me for helping her. And it really is pretty touching, honestly, to have people be very effusive and thanking you for something that they learned from you. And what's funny is I get as big a kick out of, they sold that for a lot of money. I get as big a kick out of that as somebody saying, hey, I saw your video about parting out crock pots. I just sold a lid for $20 because I saw your video. I get as big a thrill out of that, quite honestly, because what I did taught somebody and they made money off of that. That's incredible. Like that's why we're doing this. That's why I'm doing it. And I'm pretty sure that's why you're doing it.
Yeah. Cause it's like, why not? Right. You can talk about karma or whatever, but it's like, why not put out good information people watch. So now you're telling YouTube, or people are telling YouTube, hey, I want to watch this because there's value in it. YouTube's going to reward you by showing more people that. And it's like, well, that's a win for everybody. Why not? Rather than just like cramming stuff down people's throats. Because I think sometimes it's hard for us as creators to like kill our own darlings, I guess is the expression, but because like you fall in love, right? Like if you ever, English paper is always like my downfall. You put in so much work and it's like, this is going to be an A for sure. And, there are a couple of times I've shown it to like my wife, like the finished product. She's like, this is boring. She's definitely like, she's kinder, gentler about it than that. But she definitely, she lets me know like, hey, like if this were me, and we have the communication level where she can be honest with me about that kind of stuff. I get a little hurt at first, but I'm able to check that and realize like, okay, she's right. I need to see it from a different perspective and know that like she's not saying it to be hurtful. She's also looking out for me. So, but it's nice to have that perspective. And I think sometimes folks don't have that as far as like friends go too, because it's you might not have somebody that can either gently put it, ease your ego a little bit, and give you constructive criticism, like a truly constructive criticism, not like, your video sucks. Well, like, thank you, but like, can you tell me what particularly you didn't like about it?
No, and those are the worst. I've messaged Kat and Dom, and I think Emily too every once in a while, because when I get them in the premiere, like I'm getting thumbs down lately, like in a premiere. I'm like, man, you're like 3 minutes into the video. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, tell me what you don't like. Like, give me. I will fix it if you tell me. It doesn't bother me, and like I'm dwelling on it, like, oh, this is hurting my soul. But it's just sort of like, man, why are you doing it? Like, tell me. I'd rather somebody say, you know what? I think fill in the blank.
Yeah.
And then I know whether it's just, you know what, you just don't like my channel, or hey, that you're right. Like I could fix that.
And like, do you? And then there's the other trap, right? Do I placate to one person? Is this really a constructive thing? Like, if you're making fun of, like, let's say a thumbnail, right? Like, or the facial expression that I'm making on a thumbnail or something, and like you might not like it. Okay, like, am I stepping back? Is it like really you're being a jerk? Like I saw Richard throw up trolls. I think so, but I think also people just suck at like expressing their thoughts. Like your video sucks. Like, well, like maybe it was a tad boring, right? And then I would have to go back to my analytics and maybe look at my retention time. Right. When were people dropping off? Like I know in one video people started dropping off because the wind picked up, and that made me go back and look at how to clean up my sound, how to do sound production a little bit better now, and I had better retention after that. Yeah. So
I think you should have to embrace that stuff. Because people are going to, people are going to say bad things about you, right? Like they just are. And you're going to get them down, and you're going to. So that is one thing. Like if you're thinking, I think about starting a YouTube channel, if you're a little bit thin skinned and you can't handle that criticism, don't do it, because they're going to chase you out anyway. Yeah. Unless you want to work on it. If this is something like I'm thin skinned, but I'm going to work on this, because they will come out and they will chase you.
Right. I mean, so YouTube has so many tools. We were talking in the back room about, you utilizing YouTube analytics. There's a story in those numbers too, besides just looking at subscribers and views. I think of that as like superficial. Let's talk about the weather type of information. But are you going in there and finding out where the views coming from? Like, what did you do right? Like, I'm trying to figure out, are other viewers seeing my videos like when it pops up as suggested? How do I even get suggested? How do I not trick, but how do I customize my video, customize my channel so that YouTube favors me over others? Because I'm not in the belief that like you have to do bad for me to do good. Like I'm just gonna compete. Like, right. And if it sucks, it sucks. And I also want like to push other folks. It's like, hey man, that's okay. Like you may not like edit to the level, whatever you believe that like my level of editing is. Like from my standpoint, I'd rather tell a better story than edit better. Because like you look back to like even 7 years ago, right, when they're doing like YouTube awards, dude, this is before videographers figured out how to trick YouTube or how to game YouTube. This is before video editing software was at the level that it is now. So people had to rely on storytelling, videography, and cinematography of just how to cut a video to tell a story. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm really enjoying doing it. I'm enjoying growing. It's nice to see that growth. And one thing I would recommend to people that are just getting started is
to work with other resellers. Like you said, this is not I don't have to wait for somebody's downfall in order for me to get bumped up. There's plenty of space in the market, right? So
Yeah.
if you produce something that somebody wants to see, you're going to do well. And I think working with those people, and I think that's been super helpful for me doing the lives as well, because I introduce people to your channel that are following me, but some of the people that follow you tune in to watch you, and they're going to sub to me.
Right.
So we help each other out at the same time. And I think, working with other resellers and other reselling YouTubers, I think that's huge. I've gotten a lot of subscribers from Commonwealth Picker, from Kevin.
Right.
I mean, like a third of my subscribers might have come from him over several different stints, because of our friendship and us talking, and he'll mention me on his channel. All of a sudden I'll get 40 subs because he dropped my name, and so I think don't be afraid of working with other people and reaching out to people that you think might, they're too big, they're not going to want to talk with me.
No.
I mean, put in the work, do the stuff. I chatted a little bit. We had Josh from Harry Tornado on a while back. He's got a huge channel, and he came on and chatted with me when I was like at 600 or 700 people.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, though, folks like that notice, because like you have to think too, you are your own brand. You are your own marketer. You're your own publicist, or how you present yourself on social media. Like that's it. So I'm sure like your interaction with Harry Tornado, your conversations with Kevin, man, that's like your street cred. Yeah. Because like I think guys like that, they're not going to willy-nilly put their reputation on the line. They really want to make sure that they're protective of their community, and what they're promoting is on brand. But
he's in here. Well, he was in here. I think he's still in here. Dominic, we might as well announce it now because we're running low on our hour. Dominic, the primetime treasure hunter, he's here. Speaking of big time name in the lights players in the YouTube reselling community, he's coming on the show next Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. So Dominic's going to be here, and we're going to talk about all the stuff that you screw up. I mean, we're going to talk about other stuff, but I was chatting with him about, what do you want to talk about? And so often social is it's the highlight reel, right? Like you worked with the Jets. You don't get on YouTube and show the butt fumble over and over and over on your channel.
Yeah.
You show the good stuff, right? And that's what so much of this is about. We want to talk a little bit about, these are the things I screwed up, both in eBay, both in YouTube, talk about the grind of trying to do YouTube while doing eBay, and, and Dom while trying to neurosurge people. I mean, there's a lot going on. So I think it's going to be a really cool conversation. But do you have, Sam, any parting words? Where's your channel going? What can people expect to see?
I mean, the trajectory is I'm still dropping videos once a week. I'm playing around with 2 times a week, trying to give a healthy balance of, I sell primarily on Macari. So, giving a little bit more help and info in that realm. That seems to be my comfort zone, I guess, with as far as sharing information goes. Cause I guess that's always like a thing we're careful of, right? To not give information that's false, like, or even cause damage to folks, right? Because I think people are making financial decisions sometimes with what I'm putting out there. But I, and also sharing a little bit about like my journey, because I'm still growing, I'm still learning. I don't proclaim to be an expert in anything, but if I learn it and by experience, it's working out for me, I'm definitely going to try and share the wealth and share the love. If nothing else, you're going to get entertained.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I hope we see little clips of the new Tiger Cub at some point.
Yeah, for sure. We're actually working on producing. So I recorded some of the home birth. Well, all the key parts. So I'm going to see if I can stitch together with her a bad A birthing video. She's got her own channel. So a lot of, home birth some of our family vlogs, like product reviews, and like I think things just empowering women is going to be more on that channel. So so anybody knows me, I think it's Christina Tolentino is her like channel name. She wasn't
she's
here.
been in here in the chat, so folks can find her and follow that. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be it's going to be cool to watch you grow. You don't have the number of videos out there that a lot of people do, but your videos are, as I've said, they're slick, man, and I think that's going to help people, because people see your stuff and they want to stick around because they know you know what you're doing. And I'm really excited to see where you go. If you haven't subscribed to Sam yet, get over there and subscribe to him. You're going to learn not just about reselling, you're going to learn about how to edit this stuff together, about video, about audio. The guy does it really, really well. So go on over there, watch his stuff. If you haven't subbed to me, I guess go do that.
Hands up to this guy, man. 1K, dude.
We're gonna do, I think, we might as well do the thing tomorrow. Talking about figuring out how to do things on YouTube. Roxanne, she's backstage in the green room. She's running the comments. She's got to watch some videos about how to shave a man's head without scarring him. And she's got tonight to do that because, I trust her. She's a teacher. She's very smart. I think we're going to do that tomorrow. So stop on in tomorrow night. Watch that happen. And we're going to do a little bit of a giveaway, I think, as well. We're figuring out exactly what that's going to look like. I do have one thing that nobody, it wasn't claimed. We had a winner in the 500 sub. Nobody claimed it. Pure Hustle Podcast has autographed one of the little fingerlings. If you guys watch that, sort of like the bane of Orlando's existence is, I think he's got a warehouse full of fingerlings that he bought, and then the thing tanked, and so he still got them. It was on their set, on their YouTube and on their podcast for a long time. They took it off the set, autographed it, sent it to me. One of you guys is going to win that thing if you stop in tomorrow night, because it wasn't claimed for a 500. And we probably got some other stuff as well. So stop on by back here tomorrow night. When's your next drop, Sam?
I'm going to try and drop one in the next day or two. I'm in the middle of editing it as we speak. So.
All right, man. Well, go and sub to him. Keep an eye out. Thank you for everybody for showing up. We had, 43, 45 people in here all night long. So thank you so much. And for those that are rewatching this, thank you for stopping by. You go sub to Sam too, because he's fantastic.
Thumbs up for this guy, man. 1K all day.
1K. We're going to have a shaving party tomorrow, guys. Be right here. This thing is going away. We'll see you. It's going to be awesome.